and today we are talking about factorizing non-monic quadratics. This is called non-monic because the number in front of x squared is not 1. If it's 1, it's called monic. If it's not 1, it means that basically you have ax squared plus bx plus c with a not equal to 1, and this kind of complicates things. In this case, a is equal to 3. But let me show you step by step how you would factorize this, which would mean putting it into 2 pairs of brackets. Basically, that is what factorizing means in this case. So let's get started by saying we are looking for 2 numbers that add to give us 17, this number in front of x. So this is pretty much the same as in monic quadratics, which we saw in our previous lesson. Today, though, we have an extra bit, which is we want those same 2 numbers to multiply to give us, normally we would say just 10, because that's what we do in monic quadratics. But here, we will need to multiply that by that 3 in front of x squared. So keep that in mind. We want to multiply, always multiply by that number in front of x squared, which is 30 now. So 10 times 3 gives us 30. So now we're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to give us 30 and add to give us 17. Let's write all the possible numbers. 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and is that it? Oh no, 5 times 6. And I think that's it. Now, out of these options, we have to think about which pair gives us 17 when we add it. I think it's easy to see that this pair will be the 2 and the 15. So positive 2 and positive 15. Now, how does it work now that we found those 2 numbers? Let's see. I'm just going to quickly show you something. I will rewrite this problem, 3x squared plus 17x plus 10. So basically, this is the problem we have. The 2 numbers we found were 2 and 15. What do these numbers do? They help us do a little trick, so bear with me. We will split this middle term, which is 17x, into, let me write it down, positive 2x plus 15x. So what have we done here? We just split the middle term into 2x and 15x, and we got those 2 numbers.
And then you remove the 3x squared.
Well, actually, we will write the 3x squared and we will write the 10. We'll write everything we had there. So we'll write 3x squared and we'll write the plus 10 here. So what we've done for now is we've just rewritten the middle bit. We split the middle term into 2x plus 5x. Bear with me, there are 2 steps left. First step, factorize the first 2 and the second 2 terms separately. So let's see. What is the common factor between 3x squared and 2x? You will notice that this little x here appears twice. So that is our common factor. They have x in common. So we can write down x, brackets, and then inside the brackets, what do we have if we factorize using x as a common factor? Well, we'll have 3x plus 2, because x times 3x is what gives us 3x squared. And then x times 2 is what gives us 2x. Now let's move on to the next bit, the third and fourth term, if you like, because we had 4 terms here. We just want to factorize the third and fourth together. So between these, there's no letter in common, but we have
5.
Exactly. This 15 and the 10 have a common factor of 5.
So do the 5 outside the brackets and the inside 3 plus 2.
Very close. 3x plus 2. Yes, so here, because 5 times 3x gives us 15x and 5 times 2 gives us positive 10. 1 step left. We have seen questions like this before. Here, this 3x plus 2, notice how it appears before and after the plus in the middle. So this 3x plus 2 will work as a common factor for the entire expression we have here. So we can write 3x plus 2 in 1 pair of brackets, and then open another pair of brackets and just write down the leftovers in there. So whatever is not underlined, so whatever is not 3x plus 2. In this case, that would be the x plus 5. So we'll just go ahead and copy x plus 5 inside the brackets, and that is pretty much the idea. Right? Just to recap, we found 2 numbers that add to give us 17. Those same two numbers needed to multiply to give us 10 times 3. So the first and last number multiplied together. After we found those two numbers, it was 2 and 15, we split the middle term into positive 2x and positive 15x, because basically that's correct. 2x plus 15x is 17x. But this little trick allowed us to factorize the first two terms, the second two terms separately, and then we notice we have a common factor out of the entire expression, and we can finally put that into brackets. Great stuff. I'll just very quickly go over a second example, but I'll be doing this. Yes?
May you go back 1 second? Like, there when you split 2x plus 15x, we you choose, we can make 3x plus 14x, we can choose, or it needs to be 2x plus 15x.
It needs to be 2x plus 15x. We need to use the two numbers that we found in the previous part here, the 2 and the 15. Because otherwise this trick is not going to work. We have to use the pair we found. So the pair that adds to give us 17 and also multiplies to give 30. Because you said, oh, let's use 3x and 14x. Well, that wouldn't work because 3 plus 14 is 17, but 3 times 14 is not 30. So that wouldn't be the right pair. There's always just one pair. So always try to put it in this form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is your expression. If it's not in this order, put it in this order, and then you can follow this process. Okay, let me show you very quickly how we'll do the second one. I'm going to go a bit faster here, so bear with me. The two numbers that we need to find now, they need to add to give us 11, and we want those same two numbers to multiply to give us 6 times minus 10, or minus 10 times 6, which is minus 60. So minus 60 means one of them will be negative and the other one will be positive. So I'm going to write down all the possible pairs which we could have, pairs of whole numbers which would multiply to give us minus 60. So let's see, it could be these pairs I've written. I'm going to keep going by increasing one number and basically decreasing the other one. So let's see, we could have minus 5 and 12. 5 and minus 12, there's so many here, minus 6 and 10, 6 and minus 10, and I think that's pretty much it actually. And now we need to find which pair of these adds up to give us minus 11. So let's see, let's just go down the list and we will notice here, for minus 15 is indeed the pair that we need, positive 4 and minus 15. So let's rewrite now this problem as 6x squared minus 11x minus 10. But we are going to be splitting this middle term using these two numbers here, the positive 4 and the minus 15. So we can rewrite this as 4x minus 15x, because 4x minus 15x is indeed minus 11x. And we copy the first, we copy the last term, and now we are ready to factorize the first two and the second two terms separately. So what is the common factor of 6x squared and 4x? Well, firstly, the number is a 2, the number that 6 and 4 have as a common factor. Actually, I'm going to use blue for this. So 2. And then for x squared and x, the common factor is x. So here, the common factor of the first two is actually 2x. Inside the brackets, we have 3x plus 2, because 2x times 3x gives you 6x squared, and then 2x times 2 gives you 4x. Brilliant, that's done. Let's move on to the next bit. Notice how the next bit is minus and minus. So they have certainly a negative in common. And then we look at this minus 15. So let me just underline that. Minus 15 and minus 10. So what do these numbers have in common? The common factor, that will be minus 5. So we open brackets, and in there we will put 3x plus 2. And why are we doing this? We are doing this because minus 5 times 3x gives us minus 15x. Indeed, that works out. And minus 5 times positive 2 gives us minus 10. So everything works out. Now, final step left. We notice that this 3x plus 2 is our common factor for the entire expression. So what we need to do is write 3x plus 2 in one pair of brackets. And then in a second pair of brackets, we'll just copy all of the leftovers. So this will be 2x minus 5. We'll just copy that, 2x minus 5. And this is basically our final answer. So keep this in mind. The final answer is a pair of brackets times another pair of brackets. So I will be stopping the recording here, and I'll be giving everyone some time to do some practice and answer any questions you might have.